Welcome back to the STAKK YouTube channel. It's your boy Brazen.
Double O in the East House.
And we have a special guest with us here today, Mr. Ben. Ben is honestly, man, one of the most vibrant people I've come across in the crypto space. Thank you for hanging out with us this evening, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing okay, brother.
Hey, man. Love it, love it, love it. You know, the last podcast we did, right? If you guys haven't seen our last podcast we did with Ben, we're going to definitely drop a link to that one here. And a lot of people like what you had to say about the crypto space in general, because I think what is interesting is that um, when it comes to using crypto and getting into the crypto space, the way you're approaching it and the way you're attacking it is just like anything else that I've seen, right? A lot of people get into it to just trade and make money on Coinbase or KuCoin or whatever it is. But dude, you are fully immersed in this thing. You're using it on a different level, right? And that actually kind of got us into that space of decentralized stuff, right? And so there's a lot to unpack, and we're just gonna let you run here in a little bit and just give it to us. But one interesting thing, and where I would like us to start right now, is this BITO futures ETF, right? Bitcoin ETF, which has been released. I just want to get your initial first thoughts on that. What do you think?
By the way, people want to know. It's not just us. Folks are like, okay, we are confused.
Oh man, it's a way to control Bitcoin, plain and simple. In my opinion, um, you can affect the price of Bitcoin without actually holding Bitcoin, which would be the ultimate checkmate if somebody wanted to control it and manipulate it and keep it from hitting $500,000 and $1 million and all that stuff. So
Mm.
yeah,
Well, here's the thing. Check this out, man. When we speak to people who are getting into Bitcoin, getting into crypto space, so, new to the I guess cryptocurrency situation, they're like, hey, well, we can get some exposure in our account, you know, and
right,
this is good. We can have some exposure to cryptocurrency and all that stuff without actually owning Bitcoin. But we know that Bitcoin is not just about making money. Bitcoin is it's a whole idea. It's a whole technology, right? It's
right.
something that can revolutionize the way we operate. Period. What would you say to someone like that to get them to realize that they're so far from it?
Well, I mean,
And
I'll say
if
what I
that's how you
always
put it,
say. You know,
right?
it's tech. So
Right.
you wouldn't buy ETF to, have exposure to a Honda Accord that you need to drive down the street, and
Mm,
it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You got exposure to a car that is not driving. How valuable is that? When that car can actually bring you somewhere and well, bring you to prosperity if you actually use the car as opposed to having exposure to it and it's just sitting there, which basically that's what a Bitcoin ETF and all these other ETFs. Outside of a spot, at least the spot, they actually have to buy Bitcoin, so that would have a more positive impact on the price. But
right.
yeah, yeah, if you can just short it all day, then it without any skin in the game, and then you're only making cash, so you're never even entering crypto, you're never even seeing what's behind the curtain, and basically you're playing right into their hands because they don't want you to have it, and they don't want you to know. So you just basically walk back into the cage and locked yourself in, and they just sat there and watched you do it.
Oh, they
There's a lot
just
to
literally
unpack
gave
there.
you the tool to do it for yourself.
Well, no, you gave yourself the tool because you were too much of an idiot not to take the chance and run. You were free, and you were there before they even came and discovered Bitcoin and found out what it did. People
Right.
were there first, before the institutions, before the millionaires, and the people thought it was a scam and waited till the millionaires and the institutions told them it was okay. But it's only okay if you don't touch it, if you have exposure, but don't buy it. Don't do
Mm,
that. No. So you got exposure in cash, which the only reason you were looking at crypto is because cash is losing. You know what I'm saying? That's the stupidity of this whole thing. You looked at crypto because you realized cash was losing, but then you only fool with crypto to get cash, which is losing.
yeah. We're just losing.
Right.
That's that's a handful there, man. That's definitely a handful. And I think one of the things that you just said there, people only thought it was okay to get it after the institutions said it was okay to get it. Meanwhile, I think one thing that is getting lost in society today, right, is people are losing the sense of their natural freedom, their natural right to do whatever they want. And waiting on someone else to tell you to buy Bitcoin before you feel like it's okay to do it, that is something I've always questioned in my mind. Why do you feel like you need the institutions to tell you that it's okay before you do it? Now, on the other hand, it seems like the lack of education is one of the things that is holding people back, right? Because a lot of people, like when they released the Bito ETF, a lot of people purchased it. I mean, what was it? It got up to $1 billion
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
in what? I find it hard to believe that, people who bought that really stood behind or understood what Bitcoin and decentralization is trying to bring to the space. Is that something you agree with? And how do you think people can better educate themselves?
Um, yeah. I mean, the problem is they got to understand Bitcoin does not come from institutions and
Right.
corporations. It was here before. They're
Yeah.
at the end. They just beat you. They beat you to the spot, and now they're selling it to you. That's it. That's it. But they might be 100 in line. You just the 101st, and you think you need them, and you don't because you can just end run them and go to the 92nd spot or the third spot or the number one spot.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. Now, do you think it's too late for people who are not in the space yet?
Um, nope. But probably by the end of the year, whatever happens to this transportation bill, it will start being close because um what happened with that drop to $8,000 and all that with Bitcoin is going to play into the narrative. They're going to spin the narrative that it's volatile, and they're going to make it for accredited investors. And basically, if you not accredited by the end of this year, you're not getting it, and you're going to be stuck. Um, trying to do some back roads, which is going to be even harder because a lot of people are going to be being dropped out the game because they won't want to deal with the coming legislation.
And you're talking about people trying to cross over into the decentralized space, right? Like DeFi and things like that.
Yes, yes, because that's the issue we have now. Because New York, with all their regulation, New York, I deal with people all around the world, and I've never met anyone that has more hurdles than somebody that lives in New York. I have a people guy in Iraq in my crypto group. We had a
Right.
guy at Slovenia, in Nigeria, which Nigeria supposedly banned Twitter or something like that. I don't even know about that, but yeah, they even banned Twitter, and
Right.
they even banned crypto.
They banned
And
crypto too.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They banned crypto during the summer, and he was still running plays.
Heck
And
yeah.
meanwhile, I had to have a 3-hour conversation to try to onboard somebody that lived in New York.
Jeez.
Yes.
That is ridiculous. Now, I think what you're doing in your crypto group, especially, man, is incredible because I'm in there and it's a different group, man. It's a different mindset with the people that are in your group. They understand that this is decentralization and everyone is literally out here getting it, looking for a bunch of high yield things out there, racing horses. I know that's one of your favorites. How is that going for you, by the way? How are your horses doing?
Oh man, I haven't raced one yet, but I've been working on the breeding because
You've been breeding. Okay, how is the
yeah.
breeding going? Is it
Well,
profitable?
yeah, so far it's profitable. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Dude.
think the breeding might be more profitable than racing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
yeah,
you get to sell the horses as well and things like that.
yes, yes,
All right. Sure.
yep.
Look at that. Kenny.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have said everything in terms of the Bitcoin ETF. I was trying to explain this in public, and I think I might have pissed off a couple of people. So let me just end that conversation there. You and Ben have literally covered everything. So there's this thing called flipping, right? And people don't believe that Ethereum can flip Bitcoin, especially
Mm.
after the most recent events with the futures, Bitcoin futures. People don't believe Ethereum either. Some of them don't even know what Ethereum is. Um, and it happens to be the blockchain that has the most applications or the most use case at the current moment. Um, do you think Ethereum would ever flip Bitcoin?
Yes. Really, it needs to flip Bitcoin for the space to grow.
Okay.
If it doesn't flip Bitcoin, then crypto will die. Plain and simple.
What? That's a strong claim right there. Why do you say that?
Well, I mean, how can you speak on innovation when you have the coin that literally outside of because of people with money believe in it, it has no use currently.
Yep.
The main use of
Well,
Bitcoin, the
yeah.
main value of Bitcoin is Bitcoin maxis.
Yep.
Like that.
I agree that Ethereum definitely has more use case, right?
Right,
It's definitely super Bitcoin.
right.
Um,
Let me
but I
ask
mean,
you a question. Let me ask you.
yeah,
I'm gonna ask you a question with a question.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Go ahead.
if you had the iPhone,
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
any iPhone, you could take the new iPhone. You could take an iPhone from 5 years ago,
right.
and you remember that
Yep.
Nokia brick phone
Yep.
Yeah,
that just had Snake on there.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. I
O-
remember that.
Okay, Nokia was the leader of. They was the end all be all of cell phones back in the day.
Right,
So if you
right,
sitting here at 20, if I, we sitting here at year 2021, and we're asking who is a choice between this Nokia brick phone
right.
and a brand new iPhone. I don't even know what they're on because I don't have a 13 or
Yeah,
whatever with all the bells and
yeah.
whistles
There's right.
on who should be supreme in 2021. And if you tell me, well, the Nokias the should still reign supreme, then what do we need 5G for and all these other services for the cell phone because the Nokia couldn't even do video.
Hey,
Yeah.
I agree with you there. I'm not denying that. Here's
Right,
why I agree with you. I
right.
agree that Ethereum should flip Bitcoin,
Yes,
right? I
yes.
agree that Ethereum is superior to Bitcoin. Now, the only thing I was saying is because you said, hey, if Ethereum does not flip Bitcoin, then crypto will die. That would be the equivalent of saying,
Well,
like
I mean, think about it, but you can't speak on crypto being innovative
right?
if you can't flip the oldest, almost most useless as far as innovation
Yeah,
tech there is in the space. You know what I'm saying?
So,
true,
so
true.
I have an addition to add to that. I watched the
Okay,
entire 9 hours of the Build World Conference, and I personally am giving Bitcoin a November deadline. If there is no upgrade to that blockchain, I'm all full time Ethereum and Cardano.
Well, I mean, they got the upgrade coming, but here's the thing people don't understand. You know, again, because the Bitcoin maxis have money and they own corporations and they have stroke because you can't dismiss somebody that bought
right.
Bitcoin under a penny and held it, and now they have billions of dollars. So you can't dismiss that. One of the main ones is Jack Dorsey, and he's the one pushing the upgrade and pushing for DeFi. And I was telling
Yeah,
the group another one of the bricks because I keep saying they're gonna lock people out. People won't be able to get to the back end. So what's gonna
yeah,
happen? I see happening is they're gonna launch DeFi on Bitcoin, and Square is gonna pick it up and basically make Cash App truly your bank, and you'll be able to use the Lightning Network with that's coming with the Taproot and be able to do DeFi and earn interest and all this other stuff. And now you just stay at Square because Bitcoin has everything for you. What you need to go look behind the curtain again. What you need to look behind the curtain for, Bitcoin has it all. They're already telling you Bitcoin has it all, even though it doesn't have it
it
all.
doesn't have it at all,
So
though.
if they got
Yeah,
DeFi, then in their mind it truly has it all, and there's no reason. And here's the other thing people don't even realize: Bitcoin SV has
right.
smart contracts in DeFi. That was the whole argument. That was the whole split between Bitcoin Cash, and all that stuff. They have that.
Oh,
They
snap.
have that now, but people don't use it because it's not as great as Ethereum. That's the whole point.
Yeah, this is true.
But
I've never looked
but
at you like Bitcoin SG is one of those ones I've just always ignored. I'll be honest about that. So
yeah,
I have no idea what is going on there.
right.
Yeah.
Right. So but
No,
that was a whole debate on that, and but yeah. So
absolutely.
Bitcoin has the security. That is true because of the proof of work. But if they have DeFi, then the narrative will be you don't need to go anywhere else. We've got it all.
This is true.
Yeah.
Now, just tell us some of the stuff that you're doing in your group, man, because obviously you're helping a lot of people get them out there, teaching them the real stuff, right? The stuff that we don't see being pushed, right? The stuff that people are not taking the time to learn and things like that. What are some of the things that you're doing in your group with helping people get into the decentralized space?
Um. Basically, the goal is to level up to where you're no longer purchasing crypto because they're
Mm,
going to um they're gonna try to crack down on every on ramp and force KYC and AML and all this other stuff, which
right.
it's not even on no nefarious stuff, but the reason Equifax and Home Depot and all these people got hacked is because they had your data. They had to
This is
store
true.
your data, so people go there to hack and get your data, and they sell it on the dark web and all this, and that's how you got to go get these what's that, LifeLock and all these identity, credit protection services now because they go to get your data. So
Right.
I tell them how to move on board, make money into space, move into space, and eventually stop lollygagging and get to the
Right.
point where you're no longer buying crypto. You're just buying crypto with the crypto you made into space. You're not going put your debit card in and going to Coinbase and all these other places to keep buying crypto every time you need to make a move.
Absolutely. I think the stuff you're doing in there in the group is very powerful. By the way, we're gonna add Ben's what do you have? The Facebook group. That's where people can find your group, right? And then of course you also have a Telegram as well,
Yeah, yeah, they can
right?
hit me on Facebook.
So there we go. So we'll put Ben's Facebook. You can find it there and definitely expose yourself to some more interesting stuff, man. Now, before we roll forward here, the next thing I want to ask about is Ethereum gas fees.
Yeah.
Greatest platform out there, incredible everything, man. NFTs, DeFi, incredible stuff going on. But the gas fees, right? I feel
Hmm.
like are something that is difficult to get around unless you're moving big money. What do you think? Do you think that that is going to be something that hinders Ethereum?
Um,
And do you think that will get fixed?
here's the thing.
Mm,
Everybody keeps saying it will hinder Ethereum, but I've come to the realization that it's the equivalent to Armani charging, $1,000 for a pair of pants, and that hindering them, as opposed to Walmart that charges $20 for a pair of pants. This narrative has been going on for over a year. Ethereum's still number one. You know what I'm saying? It's like people still buying NFTs on Ethereum, which NFTs is 90% of the reason the gas fees are what they are. It's because of NFTs.
right.
People are still buying NFTs. So at this point, it's a rich man game. I agree with that, but everybody wants to be a rich man. Everybody buying poor people are buying Balenciaga and all this other stuff because they want to feel rich. And of course, the rich are buying it because they are rich. So that's kind of where we're at. And the flip side, when you try to go cheap, it actually feels cheap. Like buying that smart chain and Polygon. They got some good stuff over there, but a lot of stuff over there is ghetto as a mug, and you feel ghetto going on some of
Hey,
those things.
there's some good stuff on there's some good stuff
Well,
on
yeah,
Binance,
there's some
man.
good
Have you
stuff
seen
on
those?
there, but I'm
Yeah, you
saying
gotta you gotta filter out, okay? But hey, I
right,
gotta
exactly, because
yeah, you gotta filter
but
out
see,
for sure.
that's also part of the game, right? Because if it
Yeah,
costs you more money to get in the game, it's going to be less scammer stuff. You know what I'm saying? If the scammer got to come
yeah,
with some money to even get on the network, he's not going to do that. But
that is true.
if I can, I'm saying we my group made like 3 coins. You know what I'm saying? And people they
Right.
don't even know how to program and made 3 coins. So if you can do that, which one of them they put, I think one time, one of them, the first one they put in $350 of liquidity.
Yeah.
Another time they put in $1,000, and maybe like 1,000 or 1,500 the third time. You know what I'm saying? But Ethereum, you can't even get in the neighborhood with Ethereum. So if not none of the coins were scams or anything like that. But if they wanted to, they couldn't even get in the game with Ethereum to do that. So it kind of filters
That
some
is
of that out as
Yeah,
well.
I was gonna say it's like the stock market. You can buy Google, but if you have a Google stock, you know for sure it's gonna be performing. Or if you go buy a OTC stock somewhere, when that stock just disappear one day, you're like, what the
right.
heck happened to my money? Same thing's going on here now.
Right,
Eventually,
right. And
Absolutely.
and see, the whole thing is, everybody's saying it's not sustainable, and meanwhile, the clock is ticking on, Ethereum 2.0. Every day we're getting
Mm,
closer and closer to it, which will
we are getting closer.
solve their
I have some
problems.
money locked in there. Absolutely. Now, hey, by the way, man, I have some NFTs. I have two NFTs. I've been trying to offload them for a while. It's not going anywhere. Do you want to buy my NFT, bro?
Oh no, what they got, brother? What you got? I
It's
buy for
it's
the art.
something that hey man, it's something that's over. I know you're a master of the arts, man. That's why I'm like, hey, let me offer this out to you here. It's on crypto.com. I
Oh
bought it.
no, no, I don't buy.
Oh,
I don't do centralized, dog. I
I
don't do
should have. Hey,
centralized.
wait, hang on,
don't
man.
mention
I'll
that.
get it. Hey, listen, I am willing to move it out to the decentralized space for you, man. Then send it from there.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to
I
look
mean,
at it, brother.
of course, all the transportation is gonna be on your dime, because I only paid
Um,
$11 for
I
NFT. I'm
don't
not
know.
about
I,
to
I have to
pay.
look at it, brother. I have to see what it look like.
I got you, bro. After
And
this, I
if
will show you the NFT.
the crypto.com tried to go with their name brand, and
Hey,
lot of name brand people are like cash grabs. They seem like they get the
okay.
worst artists and don't even know anything about the space or even the person they like supposedly working with.
Oh,
Like, what the
jeez.
hell? You know what I'm saying? I saw like a Shaquille O'Neal when they got the Shaquille O'Neal one. I'm like, dog,
I
really?
like that though. That was
Hey,
nice.
hey, man. Hey, the one
Dude, they
I
could have
have the
did a
K
way
Camp
better
one.
job of Shaq. They got the whole Shaq like thing where he's
Yeah,
like
dunking and breaking the
right,
glass.
right, with his
Yeah.
legs up, and I mean, this one just looked like he going straight up, and I'm like, dude, have you ever seen Shaq play? Like the iconic image is him like almost pulling himself up
Oh,
on the
Yeah,
goal,
man.
breaking it
Up
yeah,
on the
down.
goal.
Yeah, and
yeah.
this
You're
one
This
just
right.
is
like he's
true.
just like regularly dunking. I'm like, man,
Hey, well, listen, man. If you change your mind and you want some K Camp NFTs, okay, I
oh
got you.
man, oh no, that's straight
Yeah.
cash grab, bro. That's that's like Uzi. That's like Uzi Vert dropped them NFTs and deleted it the next day.
Oh,
Deleted all
yeah.
Was it that
mention of it.
horrible? Oh snap! Yeah, I mean, I only paid $11 for this one. So, but maybe someone is gonna buy it from me one day for 80K. That's
Oh
what I have
no.
it listed for right now.
Oh,
You
I
know.
don't. No, I had to
Hey,
lie
listen.
and say it was like by somebody else. Can't say it's K Camp.
Oh well, I mean, look, there's a bunch of them. It's not even like one of one. You know what I mean? There's like one of 20,000 or something. I don't know who
Oh,
put it up there, but I
oh
bought it.
nah,
I didn't.
nah,
Yeah,
I'm good, brother. That sound
I
like a
didn't know
Tory
what I was doing.
Lanez. Yeah, that sound like a Tory Lanez thing there, brother.
But then he sold out some albums on uh by NFT, didn't he?
Yeah, for
Tory
like a
Lanez.
dollar, and supposedly sold 1 million of them, but
In
Yeah.
in
then he
24
released the
hours.
music anyway, so it was like that didn't even make sense for the NFT.
Okay. Well, that was
Yeah,
stupid. Kenny.
yeah.
Well, you guys just kind of hinted on that because that was going to be the next topic, right? Folks out there are just super confused. Like, what the hell is this technology? We just talked about somebody releasing some music on NFTs, and they're like, what? You can do that? What the hell is NFTs? And there's also this thing called DeFi, which you kind of hinted on about earlier, which is about once you put your money up in there, man, you might not even need to put in, you might not even need to hide any more money. Just have that money making more money. We don't want to give out all your secrets because it's also some business for you as well. Because people gotta uh, get involved with your group if they want to. But yeah, can you explain how people can get involved with the crypto space, NFTs or DeFi, with only putting their money once and just having it make money for them?
Well,
Talk about some of the tools and all that good stuff because people want to know.
I mean, DeFi is just removing the bank. The whole point of Bitcoin, and they tell you Bitcoin be your own bank. And I don't know why people don't put two and two together. But DeFi is just eliminating the bank. And Something as simple as when you go into DeFi is, well, let me back up. On your bank might pay you 0.1%, 0.05%. I don't know if you got a money market or something, might maybe get like 1%, 2%. Um, you know, part of the issue is people don't even know how banks work. You know what I'm saying? And I
Mm-hmm.
have Zoom calls all the time, and there's people walking around in 2021 that still do not realize that in 2007, 2008, the banks lost everybody in America's money. And that was with the whole bailout and the emergency meeting at the White House in the middle of the night. People still do not
Yeah.
realize that today, that the banks lost everybody in America's money and had the emergency meeting to come up with a way to conceal that they lost everybody's money, to keep people from being jumping out of windows and all that stuff like they did in the 1920s. They did the emergency cash so people could go and be able to fill up their gas tank and buy some breakfast and be able to go to work as if nothing ever happened, But
Yeah.
if you don't understand that, then of course you don't understand why you would need to operate without a bank, which that was the whole reason Bitcoin was started, is because the banks lost everybody's money. So
Mm-hmm.
they
That's
started
something.
Bitcoin so you have your own money and then you can keep track of your own money. So
Yeah.
you can't find out like what happened to it. You know what happened to it. It's right there, public ledger. You see every transaction, you see everybody's money on it.
I think what you just explained right there, right? That right there is the reason why I'm like, I don't, this whole crypto futures NFT does not make sense to me. What you just explained right there. The same people, right? We're creating this ETF. Did I just call it an NFT? This futures ETF are the
Hmm.
same the same people, right? That were kind of involved in that situation where they lost everyone's money, right?
Yep.
They have no regard for the average person, the average American,
Right.
and they do what they need to do to their own benefit. So, and for that same reason, Bitcoin was created.
Yes.
Now, here we are at this point where you have the opportunity to be part of Bitcoin,
But then you give
yet
them a
we're
billion
buying an
dollars.
ETF from the same people that we should not be trusting.
They'll fuck you
Yes.
up.
The
That is
same
just
people.
that
Right.
right there for me is just it. And that's the reason why I'm not getting it. So
Yeah.
there we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Again, people don't know. I mean, it's like common sense. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to insult
Hey,
anybody, but
you don't need
I,
to,
I
but you
can't
know,
make it any simpler. The bank pays you 0.01% on your $1,000 savings deposit. Okay.
yeah,
If I was to come and borrow that $1,000 from that same bank, I would be borrowing your $1,000. If the average interest rate they would charge on a loan, say it's 10%. So if I borrow your $1,000, pay your bank back in full 10%, the bank takes back your $1,000 and turns around and pays you 0.01%. The bank has made 1,000% profit. So if you eliminate the bank, because it is your money that started this whole thing, and you and
right.
I have a direct interaction, then that is 1,000% potential return you would have. That is DeFi. If I had bad credit, the bank would charge me 30 something percent. That is a 3,000% return that they were getting.
Yeah.
And they've been getting this. They've been getting this for hundreds of years.
Yep. That's
So now that you had an option to where you didn't need them, and you can do that because it's still your money. In
That is
both
true.
situations, it's your money.
they were getting that money so much that an entire country trusted them to be their Federal Reserve.
Well,
Yeah.
That's how much money they were getting.
well, now they've been getting it so long. Look how out of pocket they got with it, right?
Yep.
They've been getting 1,000% and 3,000% so much that they got so cavalier to where they start pimping you. You like, wait a minute, dog, you ain't even got $1,000. Oh, we got to charge you now because we can't make out 3,000% because I wanted to buy, somebody wanted to borrow 1,000. You got 999, so we gonna charge you unless you get it back up to 1,000, so we can make that 3,000%. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you
Yeah.
overdraft on the thing, we gonna charge you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
dude, you making 3,000% on me already, and then you're gonna turn around and charge me 40 and $50?
That's
Yeah.
that's an insane thing about it too, man. Charging overdraft fees. If someone does not have money in their account and you charge overdraft fees continuously, what is it, like 2 or 3 times when they charge you those fees?
Bruh,
The person already does not have money for themselves. How
here's the
is
thing.
charging them going to help them in any way? That is something
Hey,
that I've always thought was extremely predatory, man.
here's the stupidity of the whole thing, right?
Right?
Okay, you put your money in the bank, right? From that
Yeah.
point on, who tells you how much money you have?
The
Thank.
bank, well, an app.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
okay. So basically, the bank is telling you you put the money in there, and it's on the bank's discretion to tell you how much you have because you cannot go in there and audit them. You know what I'm saying? So
No.
the bank is telling you, oh, you ain't have enough money. Like, what you
Yeah.
mean? So you got to take their word for it. Even when you check your account, you got to go and put it in. Because I had that a long time ago. I left that bank. I went to their debit card, their ATM machine, to check how much I had, and I pulled out the amount they said I had, and their eight from their ATM. 3 days later, I see an overdraft charge on a debit card. Now, I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you give me an overdraft
Yeah.
on
You
a
below the
debit
limit
card?
now.
It's like either I put it in, you decline it, or I got it and
Exactly.
you accept it. You can't give it to me and say I don't have it from your ATM. That doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying?
That
So
is,
anyway,
dude, it's absolutely asinine. That is like you have cash, right? Then you go out and you spend your $10.
yes,
Then a stranger just knocks on your door like, hey man, do you have cash? You don't have cash? No, okay. Well, now you owe me
right,
because you don't have cash.
right,
That is so asinine.
right.
It's I don't know how it's accepted, but
Well,
I always
that's the
that's
tell
where we
stupidity.
people.
are.
That's the stupidity of how bad
Yeah.
they have you to
Yeah.
where they telling you you don't have money, but they're the only people that know how much you have.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always tell people to go read up or just watch some YouTube video on the history of money or the history of the banks. Maybe that would
Yeah.
help. But yeah, let's quickly jump to that next topic that actually relates to this topic. One of the things that freaks people out about DeFi is, oh, USDT is a fraud. They just got fined for the $2 million. All this fraud about stable coins that prevent people from staking or farming or providing liquidation out there.
Yeah.
What can you tell folks about that?
I mean, it is valid to a point, but it's less a fraud than the U.S. dollar.
The
The
Fed.
U.S. dollar is the most fraudulent thing in the history of the world.
Yeah.
Especially after the gold the gold standard was removed. I think it's gotten worse since then.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you
This is
mentioned that.
true.
Just for people again who even after everything that happened that still don't believe they're gonna like shut down and end run you on crypto. Go to the gold where you had gold, you everything was purchased in gold, and then they made gold illegal. So then they took your gold.
Yeah, I think there was a point in time when
Where
everyone
you
was forced to sell their gold to the government.
yes, yes, because
And
they made
then
it
right after
illegal.
they sold their gold to the government, they went ahead and raised the price of gold.
Yes, and not only that, they
Mm,
backed the dollars. They backed the U.S. government dollars with the gold that they
yeah.
had made illegal for people to
Yeah.
hold a few years earlier. And here we are. This is basically what's going to happen again.
Yeah. Then we get to a point where they just suddenly decide, yeah, it's no longer backed by the gold. And now you
Yeah, because
have
they had outprinted the gold is the thing.
exactly. And now you have the Fed just able to print money all the time, essentially.
Yeah.
And I look at it and I'm like, well, USDT or Tether, I get it, man. Some company somewhere, they've not released their stuff and all that kind of good stuff, but they're doing the same thing the Feds are doing, aren't they?
Well, the thing, the whole
If that is what they're doing, I read a paper about it and about how they kind of tether to Bitcoin and kind of using Bitcoin to raise their reserves, but eh,
the
I
whole
trust
well,
them.
see
I trust them than the dollar.
the
Go
whole
ahead.
scam part of Tether is that it wasn't 100% backed.
Hmm.
This is true. That is true. I agree
So
with that.
it's there are some dollars that back it, and then they revealed that it's actually like Bitcoin that
Hmm.
backs
Yeah.
it as well. So that was the whole thing. They say they were one to one backed with dollars, and it appears they aren't. But they do have more backing than the U.S. dollar, which has nothing.
This is true.
And
I agree with that.
USDC has more backing than Tether. DAI has more backing than USDC, even though some USDC does back DAI, but it's backed with Ethereum, and
Yeah.
that part has been straightforward, from day one. And Terra, UST, Terra Luna,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they
LUNA.
probably the most fully backed stable coin.
Stable coin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, in that case, then, I mean, there's all these other stable coins people can use. So really, USDT is not an excuse
Yeah.
for
Right, and then you got the Gemini. The Gemini is by the Gemini Exchange. That one's more backed than others. But yeah, yeah, you have choices, which kind of keeps them in check a little bit. But the problem is all of them are better than the dollar,
right.
and that's the issue.
I think there was a country that recently adopted Terra Luna as their currency as well. Can't remember what the name of the country was.
Yeah, a
Um,
couple companies have been jumping on the adoption situation.
Yeah.
Now, so the going back to blockchain, right? What I was going to ask you about was I wanted to just talk a little bit about Phantom, because Phantom is a blockchain right now. That it seems like there's some really awesome things coming to this. Can you just tell people a little bit more about some of the cool things coming to Phantom right now?
I mean, Phantom has Yearn Finance, which is one of the biggest names in all of crypto.
Right,
Um, they have Aave coming, which is another, which is like Bank of America, the
Mm-hmm.
right,
crypto version of Bank of America.
Yep.
They're currently everybody was talking XRP and all these other coins with the
Mm-hmm.
CBDC. Phantom has five countries already operating their CBDCs on Phantom Network.
wow.
Yes, and they're presenting next week. They're presenting to the United Nations Committee on CBDCs.
That would
Now,
be interesting.
that would be very
Tune in for
interesting
that.
because
Yeah.
I feel like CBDCs as well, like that. That's a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
Because
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a nightmare scenario.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that is
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it'd
The
be
the
interesting
the
to see how
flip
that goes.
side, the flip side is if your blockchain has CBDC, then that's uh trillions of transactions that will happen, and that coin will like go astronomical.
Right.
Um, as far as the humanity side, then they will be able to shut you down and blacklist you and all that other stuff. And so
Uh,
that'll be like China. Just think of China or Russian gulag. That's what that would be actually closer to that from a society side, a financial side. Your blockchain will have like a million transactions going on, and all of them need
there
that
you go.
coin to take part in that. So that coin is going to go through the roof.
Absolutely. We're
Yeah.
Yeah,
going to put some more info on CBDCs as they come up.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I figure since we're talking about Phantom, we might as well talk about Metaverse because this is the virtual space that Ben lives in already that a lot of folks don't know about. Folks are freaking out about the Facebook situation, and uh, I know you're like the master of Solana, and you're into engine and all this other stuff. Um, can you just make it easy out for folks out there to kind of understand what you do in that space?
I just went to a metaverse festival where I listened to like 20 DJs.
You didn't invite
Um,
us.
oh,
Yeah.
I
Where's
didn't
our
know,
invite?
man. I didn't know. I didn't
No
know.
invite, bro.
It was today, brother. Well, it's going on tomorrow. It's going on tomorrow. It's going on tomorrow.
All
So
right.
so went there and I received a POAP for showing up. So now I have a basically a ticket of that whole event for posterity.
Right.
So think about a person that went to Woodstock. I don't know if they had tickets, but if they had tickets, they had a ticket to Woodstock, and now they're sitting there 20, 30 years later saying I was at Woodstock,
Right.
which is that's what the POAP basically is. Um, there's digital fashion, which eventually I see digital fashion being actual fashion because people are like, why would you have to? digital fashion, like in Fortnite and all this other stuff, is already giving people a taste of it. But I can see in the future there won't be like malls, like talking about. You just have your digital fashion, and you order what you want, and then it's created, it's made at the mall or the store or whatever, and then you just pick it up or they deliver it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like one of one almost.
There we
Um,
go.
Same thing with shoes. You can get outfits, shoes, hats, your character. Um, just for a society, you have the people that are identifying as transgendered and bi and all this other stuff. So now they're able to express themselves like that in the social network of the metaverse with an actual physical avatar that reflects how they feel on the inside. You know what I'm saying? Which that is going to
Mm.
be ridiculous. VR, AR, which AR is the killer app that's going to bring it all together. I mean, you got Apple and all these other people making glass. The glasses are coming next year.
Yep.
So you can, I
Yeah.
mean, they're already made. You can deny it all you
People.
want. They're already
Yep.
made. They're coming. It's the thing.
Yep.
VR, Facebook has already dropped the price of VR to $299.
Yep.
The company is getting rid of all that other stuff that likes and the care button and all that is going straight
Yep.
metaverse because they see the writing on the wall. Um, they are hiring 10,000 VR, AR, XR
Developers.
specialists,
Yep.
and not really
Right.
because they need 10,000 of them, because they don't want anybody else to hire those people and beat them to build out a metaverse.
Yep.
Because
Mm.
that's if anybody ever plays games are what games are a bigger industry than the movie
Yep.
industry,
Absolutely.
and that's what you do. You play all these online games, these MMO, especially like Asia, those League of
Like,
Legends and
yep.
all those different
Yeah.
games, and actually was the use the proof of this
Yep.
working to where actually there's people playing the game, a
Yep.
Pokemon game, and earning actual salary
Yep. X Infinity.
of playing a
AXX.
crypto game.
Yep.
And
Huh?
once that was possible, everybody went to the metaverse because Decentraland. I even told one of the guys in my group because he has a part-time job.
Mm-hmm.
I sent him the thing. Decentraland was hiring real people to work as NPCs in the Decentraland casino while people come in their metaverse avatars and gamble in the Decentraland casino and win real crypto that they go in their wallet and go buy
Yeah.
or do whatever they want to. And you were working 4 hour shifts and you would get paid crypto to be an NPC in this casino inside the game.
People might think this is all crazy, right? So I happened to actually
Yeah.
to take do a white paper on this in school. I did the I was in the metaverse. I think during our last conversation, I think we talked about it. Second Life,
Yeah.
2003, 2004, 2014, like around 2013, 2014, I was in grad school. Yeah. 2000, was it 12? Yeah, am I that old? Anyway,
Sometime around there. Hey,
something around there. I'm trying to remember when
sometime
I was in
around
grad school.
there.
I'm like, okay, I graduated college when? Wait a second, 2007. So that was 2003. Shit. Anyway, let me correct this. I was doing Second Life in grad school, and we had to sell products. So when you talk about the future of the shopping malls, Second Life was way advanced, way ahead of its time. Cause that sucker will literally crash your computer. But with the AR and VRs that we have now, this is gonna be the Second Life 2.0. Like this sucker is coming for real. There were people on
Yeah.
there selling houses, selling cars, selling islands, next level stuff. And I think it's now
Yeah.
here for real.
Yeah, they're doing
This
that. They're
is
doing that here. They're
yeah,
doing it
it's
now.
definitely coming through. And for this, I mean, for just to kind of get some clarification here, man, this is a whole economy happening online that removes the typical economy that we know. The US, well, not the same, governments around the world, right? Because people can interact and transact, exchange value and everything else like that in the metaverse. Now, I want to hold that right there, and I want to point out something that happened recently. So obviously, Facebook is kind of under fire right now for essentially negligence. Of course, they're kind of under fire right now, and they're also kind of going for this metaverse thing. Elizabeth Warren, right, and a few of her friends have come out and they're like, "Hey, we don't think Facebook should be able to essentially go into this metaverse project because they have proven that they do not care uh, about the people's safety and things like that, right?" What do you think that is about? Do you think that they're worried that Facebook is going to create its own economy online that excludes the traditional economy?
Yes, that's it. Facebook will become a bank with well, they got 2 billion customers.
This is true. They have the power to
They,
And
do it. They're set
they
up
would
for it.
they would be the
and
largest bank outside
Yeah.
of the IMF on planet Earth.
yep, and they cannot tax them because it's virtual. That's the part that
Yeah.
I'm still
It's
trying to
all
figure
virtual.
out. How do you task an AI when an AI is making you money?
You cannot tax on AI. I don't think you can because people can really choose to transact in cryptocurrency. I've said this before, man. If everyone decided, hey, okay, I'm just gonna pay you for Cardano. If I wrote to you right now and I say, hey, this is a bottle of water. I want that bottle of water, right? And I'll give you Cardano. I pay you in Cardano and you give me the bottle of water. We just exchange value. And that is not in the traditional economy, you know. I think that crypto takes us back, and I've said this to you a couple of times, Kenny. I think that crypto takes us back to trade by barter, the most basic form of exchanging value in the most sophisticated way ever. And I don't think that is necessarily a horrible thing. I think that is something that we need to figure out, master it, and make it work. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's
Um,
up to the people. That's what I think. They
Yeah,
just wait for the government to tell them what to do and how to do things. And I think that's the downside of all of this.
yeah.
well, if it's up to the people, it's failed already. I can tell you that.
Oh man.
Yeah, it failed. It failed already. It
Oh.
failed already. I mean, they're falling for all the tricks. So Doge and all them crap coins is part of the trick to keep you from learning the real. You know.
Absolutely. Well, I think that we should give the people some. Let's have some faith in the people. You know, maybe you never know. You never know.
Yeah, we have
We
some faith, but like
we
I
might all
said,
get. Everyone might get extremely frustrated tomorrow, man, and they're like, "Hey, you know what? Boom, cryptoverse, here we come." You know,
I don't
yeah,
know,
but see that
man.
there's the problem though. See, what cryptoverse are they gonna go to? Because Facebook is gonna be locked down. We already
mm,
know Apple's gonna be locked down because that's basically I can see Apple making their own coin. They're gonna come with their own they got the AR glasses and all that stuff coming. They got their card supposedly, and you buy the Apple coin. You need the Apple coin to run all that stuff, so you won't even touch anything else.
right,
Um, JP Morgan has their own blockchain that they use in banks. Everybody think XRP. No,
Yeah,
JP
they do.
Morgan has 90% of the banks in the world using their JP Morgan coin
Blockchain.
chain or
Yeah.
whatever that's based
Yep, they
off
do.
yeah,
Ethereum. It's already
Yep.
done. So there's that whole XRP and the banks. That's done. 90% of the banks use JP Morgan's coin already. You know what I'm saying? And then there's DeFi with less than what did they say? Less than 1 million people on Earth are in actual DeFi. There's 100 million people that claim they're into crypto, but they're not really doing crypto
Yep.
because
mhm.
it's the DeFi, NFTs, and all that other stuff. But yes, less than 1 million people out of 8 billion people. So, uh, I mean,
Yeah. It's gonna get worse before it gets better, man. But I
yeah,
think one thing
yeah,
that the one thing I would say is that when you forget history, man, it's going to repeat itself.
yep,
And from the looks of it, man, we're driving right to it. So we'll see
yeah,
how it goes. For anyone, they say before warned is before armed, right? For anyone who listens and decides to jump into it, good for you. If you
yeah,
don't,
yeah, because
well, then you don't.
yeah, because speaking of history, they pointed. I saw this graphic all over the internet when the Bitcoin ETF was announced, and they like, oh, look how it should take off because they compared it to when the gold ETF took off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Why isn't gold like $1 billion?
Exactly.
Hmm.
Why
Oh
isn't
my
gold, you
God.
know what I'm saying? Gold topped out at $2,000, dude, which is
Yep.
nothing. The
Yep.
Yeah.
country, the
Yeah.
whole world shut down. Everybody in the world sat at home,
And golden pop.
and gold hit two thousand
Didn't.
dollars. Is that it,
Yeah.
dude? You're like, you telling me I should store this, and this is the worst case scenario asset, and it's limited, and all this other, and it's so precious, and all these people are buying it, and this and that, and hit $2,000. You know what I'm
Did
saying?
not work.
Silver went down.
Well, yeah, because
Did
they
not work.
controlled it. They controlled it with that those all the ETFs and all that stuff.
Yep.
You know, they
Yeah.
took out the top of it, and that's what I see happening with Bitcoin now currently.
Well, listen, man. I think it's always a beautiful thing when we have these conversations, Mr. Ben. It's always an exciting one with you, man. Hopefully, you join us again, and we see how things unfold. We can chit chat about these things again and inform people, right? Okay,
Oh
Kenny, what do
yeah,
you think?
oh yeah,
Hey.
because next week is gonna be something totally different. That's what people understand.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah. One
what's
one
going on?
hour 1 hour in crypto is like a week and a half in regular time.
Hmm.
It's
Dude, when you dip your toes into the cryptoverse, man,
cryptoverse.
it sucks you in. Once you here's the thing. I think once you do one thing, okay, and it clicks and it makes sense, man, it's like a snowball effect, man. You won't stop. It's you're just rolling through it. And
Yep.
the most important part about it is that you learn a lot. You
Mm-hmm.
learn a lot about just the technology. You learn a lot about smart contracts and all this really cool stuff that will be running the future. Okay. So that's why I say, man, it's a lot about it's more than making money. It's so much bigger. And
Yeah.
it
Yeah. It's more than
sucks
making dollars.
if
Making
people,
dollars.
yeah,
That's the thing.
Yeah.
exactly. This is more than dollars, man. This is
Yeah.
about your quality of life. This is about your
Yeah.
freedom.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
Sovereign,
So
challenge. That's the biggest
having
challenge for
having
people right now.
sovereignty, financial sovereignty, and a digital
yeah,
identity, because you will be digital.
yeah,
Everything will be
yeah.
digital to the point where um everybody compares the metaverse to Ready Player One, right? That movie Ready
Mm-hmm.
Player One.
Yep.
Um, Here's the thing people don't understand. There's this show called Upload. It came on Amazon. Dude died. They downloaded his brain into a virtual world, and he was living his afterlife in a virtual world. Elon, it kills me because they got all these conspiracy theorists about everything with the government and this and this and that. Elon's like, yeah, I want to stick a chip up in your brain.
Right.
And like nobody says nothing. But we got the whole controversy about the government trying to trick us with all this other stuff. And Elon just straight up told you I want to stick a chip in your brain. But anyway, he wants to hardwire people's brains with the neural net next year. And basically, he said within 5 years, you'll be able to download the entire human brain. Okay, so where would that entire human brain, once
Go.
it's downloaded, that is digital. It will live in the
Yeah.
metaverse and all this other stuff. The next thing, we're going to the moon and all this and Mars within 5 years. And this is the craziest part to me, right? Because I'm into science fiction and all the comic books, all this stuff, and I have friends that are into this. I've known for years. They don't understand crypto, and I'm like, dude, how do you not understand crypto? And you're a sci-fi fan.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm
Yeah.
not. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, dude, tell me what sci-fi show, movie, cartoon, comic book do people pay with cash? My whole life they paid digitally,
Yeah.
and since I was a kid, Star
Yeah.
Wars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna send the credit to your account. 30 years ago, but people don't understand. But anyway, we're going to Mars, and you set up a habitat society on Mars, and that's gonna be an ecosystem, and you have to have payments. They're not transacting cash.
Nope. Nope.
They're
That's for sure.
already they're already mining. There's miners, Bitcoin miners, and Ethereum miners in space right now. They'll be launching satellites that can mine crypto. So it's coming. You could be stupid trying to stack dollars. Big money is already on crypto. They already spent the money on crypto. It's coming out.
That's what
You're
sucks,
gonna be
man.
stuck.
Because
You're gonna be sticking there with dollars. Even the Fed is
yeah,
leaving dollars. They're going with the digital dollar.
yeah, yeah. When the government is moving to it and you have people that have not moved to it yet, yeah, it's gonna suck for them. I would say that.
Yeah.
Because this is gonna be, you will never be able to catch up to someone who's been in it earlier. Yeah,
No. Think
it's
about
just the way it is.
the internet pioneers. You know what I'm saying? We knew like Mark Cuban. Most people don't
Yeah.
even know
Yeah,
what the hell he did. He was in the internet early. It's all he
Yeah.
really did. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
yeah.
he got rich
Yeah.
off of it. And now you can't
Hey,
catch him. You know what I'm saying?
I would say this though. I like seeing cryptographers destroy him on Twitter, man, because
Oh yeah,
sometimes
he's
he
out his
thinks his
element.
opinion,
Yeah.
yeah,
He's out his element.
he thinks his opinion really carries a lot of weight just because he has money, but it's a different time, sir.
Well, yeah,
And
that's the whole thing.
I've seen a
He's
few
from
cryptographers wreck him on social
yeah, because
media.
he's from Web 1.0,
Yep.
not
Yeah,
realizing this is Web 3.0. Like, dude,
in
this is not
3.0,
Yeah.
about
dog.
money. We're doing a
Yeah.
whole
Yeah,
internet, and that's another thing.
exactly.
There's a whole internet out there that people can't access.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yep.
So
This is true.
think about you in 2021. If you cannot access the internet, where the hell would you be?
Hey, Facebook just went out the other day. Facebook, WhatsApp, and all those guys just went out the other day, and folks were like, "What are
Oh
we
yeah,
gonna do?"
Right.
absolutely. The whole
Right.
time I was on Minds, man, on the blockchain, it's a blockchain social media network. We were
Yeah. Exactly.
coasting,
Exactly.
Thanks.
unfazed, bro,
Yep.
unfazed.
Yep. And
Yeah,
they don't even know about it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they're gonna get
So,
locked out. They're gonna get locked out and lose access to even get there.
Yep.
hey,
But they'll have their dollars. They'll have their dollars though. When.
exactly. Hey, listen, man, Mr. Ben, we can go about this situation all day. This is why, hey, we're extending another invite to you right now. We'll see
Okay.
what happens in a
Come
little bit.
back.
Come back on, man, and let's talk about what is going on. Let's update on what is going
The
on in
people.
the crypto sphere. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
definitely, brother.
man, I have a lot of fun when we do these, man. It's so fun.
Yeah.
I remember the first one. Listen, I will say this before you go on. Every time you come on, bro, I'm gonna tell you this, man. I would like to pay you in XRP, sir.
Nah, I'm good, dog. I'm good. We just
Come
talked
on,
about the banks.
come on, Ben.
That's the
I know, man.
craziest
But
thing.
still, listen. I'm holding some XRP though,
People
but I want to pay you in XRP. That's all I'm saying.
people are like
Accept the XRP.
these XRP people with these pom poms cheerleading for the bank. I'm like, dog, I don't even like my bank. What the hell? Y'all like caping for XRP to support the bank, and the bank just charge you $20 because you didn't have $10 in your account. Like what? What are you talking
Hey,
about, dude?
listen.
I don't like them people.
I'm still holding your XRP, man, until you say yes
Hey,
one day.
hey,
Hey, man, listen.
just hold
Thank
it.
you, thank you so much for joining us. Before we close this one, man, okay, Kennedy, do you have any final thoughts, sir?
Hey, if you don't have Ben's info, we're gonna leave it down here. You should definitely check him out if you want to learn about crypto or you want guidance on DeFi. Ben doesn't charge a huge fee. It's a quite moderate fees. It'll get you on the road.
Yeah, listen, man. Education is not free. Nothing is free. We've all learned expensive lessons in our life.
Yes, sir.
It's up to you what you want to invest in. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think Ben is definitely doing some amazing stuff. Just getting people up to speed on these things. So thank you for that. Thank you for doing that, man. So that's pretty
No
cool.
problem, brother.
Absolutely. Until next time. Che
All
out.
right.
Double O out.
Ben, you're supposed to say peace.
He always
Oh,
forgets.
Peace.
There we go.
Peace.
Yeah,
My
there we
fault,
go.
Go have some tacos.